Alrighty, so we are back at the camp between missions, and this is our opportunity to talk to our various party members, because for those that don't know, a general thing in BioWare games, especially their... I was about to say especially their older ones, but really nothing's come out since Mass Effect 3, so I guess it doesn't really count, but in all these party-based BioWare games, you go back to the ship after a mission, or you go back to a camp, and that's your opportunity to try to talk to everybody, and if you visit them each time that happens, you get more and more backstory each time, and so that's time to do that. And I have a whole cast of characters now because my party is growing. So let's start off by talking to Shale, my favorite sociopathic, smartass, bird-hating character. You're still... okay, I would have expected golems to be... different.
Different? Different than what? Different than a statue? Different than a log? Should I talk in a monotone? Yes, Master, I exist to serve the Master. I shall kill for the Master and only for the Master. Perhaps it expected me to have a booming voice. Recite limericks. I can recite limericks, if it likes.
Do you actually know limericks? Because I wouldn't. Are there dirty limericks?
Mostly they involve slaughtering pigeons in creative and invasive manners. I have never met another golem. I have no idea what one might be like, or why I wouldn't be like them. Why? Has it met other golems? Did they not sound as I do?
I have no idea what golems sound like, actually. I was just thinking, I guess.
I don't know what other golems might be like, but I am already superior by virtue of my free will. This is a good thing.
I agree. Being a... oh, no. Let's not go too far into being a golem, but, okay, no, actually, the other answers aren't necessarily better. Yeah, I'll just say, I agree. Being a golem would be handy.
Imagine the benefits. No need to eat or sleep or perform other functions. Walk underwater, crush the heads of every opponent. The possibilities are limitless. Barring the occasional 30 years or so of paralysis, there's little to compare. Now stop talking so much. The wagging of its moist little tongue is distracting.
Stop staring at my tongue. You're making me uncomfortable. Yeah, this dog always appreciates me. After we load...
I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh. Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
If you hadn't... okay. I've never fed you another human being. Let's just be honest to our dog.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
I don't think he's cool with it either way, if I were to say. Alright, Alistair.
Something on your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
So, do I have anything new? Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
Oh, in that case, you should have been a mage.
Oh, you aren't kidding. I think the Templar uniforms are as colorful as they are just so the Templars didn't feel dull in comparison. Last thing you want when you're about to take down some Maleficar out in the woods is to have him point and laugh at your taste in clothing, am I right?
And what's the real reason?
You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
You're right, I just ask questions because I don't want to know the answers to them.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
Home is wherever camp is. We're travelers now.
We won't always be traveling like this, you know? Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
It's funny, I kind of had to commit to the we're travelers now approach because as someone who's been a Grey Warden for 90% of this game so far, because the origin story is so short compared to the rest of the story, that's just my life. I'm just this current state that the game exists in is just the entirety of the player experience, really. This isn't really like you're just a Grey Warden immediately. It's not like Knights of the Old Republic where you spend most of the game as just some dude, but then midway through the game, suddenly you get the ability to become a Jedi. You're just a Grey Warden basically this whole game, so you don't have much sense of what your character was like beforehand. Leliana, what do you have to say with your silly helmet that's going to disappear in a moment?
Something I can help with?
What would someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
They don't teach you how to fight in the cloister, do they?
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Affirmed?
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the Chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
What did you do before that?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
She sounds like she's lying. Because she's like, she's saying things, but like trying to logically justify her own words after she says them. And then she's like, let's change the subject. Let's see if I can press her a little further.
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free.
I, for one, am in no hurry to let my spirit fly free.
It's a beautiful sentiment, I think. One that brings peace and hope to the grieving.
Huh. Well, that was unexpected for sure. Pretty extensive song going on there. A little awkward that the character model's just standing perfectly rigid upright, and her eyes were kind of rolling in her head. So it looked like she was possessed sometimes during the song, but limitations of a pretty old BioWare game, and its relatively early 3D graphics. Since I think before with this one, I don't think a lot of their games had up-close visuals in general, besides this game and like Mass Effect. A lot of the other stuff was top-down type things, I think. Hello, Wynn, our trusty new old mage. Actually, despite being the newest person in the party, it's the person my character has the most history with, because at least this person's from the same mage tower that I'm from.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Are you alright?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
Yeah, I guess she would be weary after seeing visions of all of her students dying in front of her and thinking it was her fault, and then it would repeat infinitely forever. That was not great, but I'd bet there's still some life in those old bones, I'd bet.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
Hey, don't say those things. We still need you.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
Well, that made me sad. It reminds me of my great-grandfather. I visited him in Texas. He lives in like the awkward panhandle place, which is just boring and awful. And all he really did was just talk about how much longer he thinks he has before he dies. I really hope that if I ever live to be old enough, I'm not just that focused around death all the time. Like, that's all I think about is, soon I'll be done, forever. It's exciting. Just almost looking forward to it. She's new to the party, so maybe she'll have something new to say, because she joined a little late.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Why do you ask?
You are younger than I, and your nerves yet have some steel in them. Did you feel any fear facing the abominations?
Some, but I knew I could not falter.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Seeing the monster that you could be is unsettling. Yes.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination.
Yes. It is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Huh. It's interesting that she is still concerned about becoming an abomination after all this time, because she's been a mage presumably for an incredibly long time, maybe even half a century, so it's crazy to think that like someone could be this into being a spellcaster and have so much experience and then still be concerned that one day they'll just slip and they'll still lose, just like how they always fear the acolytes will. Oh, poor Morgan, always camping out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe if you weren't such a terrible person to everybody around you, you wouldn't have to be 50,000 years and outside of the rendering distance of the game. Because there's no character models over there. They all disappeared. I'm too far away now. That's how far away Morgan is. She's literally in her own world.
I have a thought.
Just the one?
Ah, such wit. Truly, you and Mother should form a troupe of jesters and tour the countryside. We have an opportunity that I believe we should take advantage of. To the point. My mother was once divested of a particular grimoire by a most annoying Templar hunter. It occurred long before I was born, but even today, Flemeth speaks of the loss with great rage. With the circle of magi in such disarray, it occurs to me that this might be the perfect time to recover the tome from their possession, for surely it eventually ended up in their hands.
You're telling me this now, after I already left the tower?
It did not occur to me when we were still in the Mage Tower. I wish it had. Truly, Mother has assumed for a long time that the tome was lost forever. I only remembered it now after thinking what treasures might be found in the Circle of Magi's tower now in its condition.
And what's in it for me?
My eternal gratitude? At the very least, it shall enable me to help you more. Or were you perhaps looking for some other reward?
That's not necessary?
As you wish.
Very well. If we go back to the tower, I'll look for it, I suppose.
Good. I am most interested to see its contents, should it be located. The grimoire is leather-bound and adorned with the symbol of a leafless tree, should you come across it. If not, however, then I shall simply put it out of my mind.
I just finished that tower. I guess if I talked to her at a different rate, she might have mentioned it sooner, but this is a little frustrating. Should I do it? Should I go back? You know what? I think I might go... Yeah, I might go back to the tower and see if I can find it, just to move forward the character storyline, because I might as well progress these character storylines. I don't think... This probably won't be very fun to watch, so I'm just gonna skip most of it for your guys' sake, but I'll show you guys when I find the Grimoire, or if anything interesting happens on the way there, I suppose. But back to the Circle of Magi Tower, I guess. Goody.
My men have scouted the tower. It's a mess, but the abominations are gone. You are very thorough. I'm impressed.
I don't know if I have the strength for another big battle.
The Grey Warden saved us. Fighting the Blight is the least we can do.
True.
The Circle has always played a part in defeating the Blights. This is our chance to show that we will fight and die for our home, just like any other Ferelden.
Come on, you've rested enough. We need to get these out of the tower before they get fragrant.
Touching those abominations. It's wrong.
Someone has to do it.
Why do we have to take them across the lake to burn? The lake's right there.
Oh, it's you! You saved the circle. I'd kiss your feet if you didn't look as though you'd kill me if I did that. You'll settle for a handshake, won't you? Maybe a kiss on the forehead, eh?
Handshake, yes. Kiss, no.
Suppose we feel the same way then. Might not seem like much coming from me, but I appreciate what you've done for us.
Beware, these creatures can be unpredictable.
Oh Jesus, is there a whole boss left in here? That NPC lied to me when he said that everything was all cleaned up in here. There's a whole abomination hanging out up here. Holy crap, that was unexpected. For those of you that watched the previous episodes, you'll remember at one point I noticed the 4th floor icon through the door, and I totally just went up to the next floor without walking through a whole chunk of this floor. And the funny thing is the NPC doesn't pick up on that. He's like, there's no more abominations left. You were thorough. And clearly that's not the case, because look at these assholes fighting me. Anyway, still haven't found that book I was here for, but I've certainly found some fights. Jesus, get out of here, Skeleton Archer. The good news is that this tower is not actually very big, because they expect you to play through a white runestone, a gift, okay. They expect you to play through a large amount of the, they want you to spend a bunch of time doing that dream world stuff, so you actually don't have to spend that much time in the tower by comparison, so there's not much ground to cover, so I'll either find the book soon, or I won't find it at all.
So tell me, was the Tower of Magi everything you thought it would be?
Abominations running rampant. Templars ready to slaughter every mage in sight. Yes, it rather met all my expectations.
You don't think you might have been better off getting your training there, instead of whatever your mother taught you?
You're right. My mother didn't nearly have as many abominations running about. That certainly would have improved my education.
I'll give you that one.
I'm so relieved.
You remind me of Lady Cecily.
Who?
She was an Orlesian lady. My mother served her until she died, and Lady Cecily let me stay, instead of turning me out on the street. You are like her in some ways. You have the same poise, the same air of nobility.
Oh, child. I am hardly noble.
I learned that nobility isn't just something you are born with. I have met nobles who are very petty and mean, complete degenerates. Then, there are people with a certain dignity and grace. It draws you to them, no matter who you are or who they are. I think the lowest peasant can have the most noble spirit, and it will always shine through. It is this nobility of spirit that you share with Cecily.
Why, thank you, Liliana. It is very kind of you to say that.
Oh hey, the Black Grimoire is already in my inventory. Whoops. I may have found it actually while exploring the area. My bad. It's entirely possible that I found it when I came through the first time and just forgot to check my inventory for it. So let's give it to Morgan.
What? You found Flemeth's grimoire? When I spoke of it to you, I did not truly hope... This is a most fortuitous event. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
You're welcome.
I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be... interesting.
It's kind of funny to see her surprise in this context, because I gave it to her...
Where to now?
I gave it to her in the Circle of Magi Tower, exactly where she wanted to look for it. So it's like, what? You mean we came all the way here for my grimoire? I would have never guessed. It's like, nah, I think it was kind of obvious in this case. While we're on the gift-giving mood, though, I wonder if there's something I can give to one of... Oh, Andraste's Grace. That's almost certainly a Liliana item, right?
Flowers? For me? They smell lovely, and there's something so familiar about them. These were my mother's flowers. She would sprinkle the dry petals amongst her clothes. Oh, they smell just like her. Thank you so much.
Oh, well that's pleasant. Ooh. She just got major cunning. That's cool. That's a significant potential upgrade right there. I wonder if there's anything else in here that looks like it could go to someone. This is... alcohol? A demon statuette? Silver medallion. More drinks. Oh, the Rose of Orlais. The Rose of Orlais appears to be a book about a woman named Lady Talia Leone and her tempestuous romance with the arrogant Chevalier Garin. Huh. Well, it's from Orlais, so maybe it's good to give to Liliana also.
That's a wonderful thought.
Okay, +3.
I don't know what to say.
That's not bad. Chantry Amulet.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
I guess you like that too. Ox bone. It's just, ew, it's just a bone. It's probably good for the dog. Tribal necklace? Remarkable green... Water-stained portrait with a man in a crown. White runestone. Just a white symbol. Okay. A lot of these are really innocuous, random of gifts that don't necessarily seem to be for specific people. Huh. Some nice gloves. Yeah, and these are probably not generally super specific to characters, except for that bone, obviously. The bone is for the dog, and the alcohol is probably all for a character I haven't met yet, because I know about an alcoholic character. Painted sky ball. This almost perfect orb is made of a polished black stone and has been painted to look like the night sky, complete with constellations. Huh. I could just give these to random people and just get random bonuses probably for it, but it'd be good to have a better idea of who some of them for. This demon statuette. I don't know. That could almost be for Morgan. Oh well. I'm about ready to move on. So we'll get on to a new location now that Morgan's thing's dealt with. I don't know, maybe when I get back to camp she'll have more to say to me. Otherwise, I'll probably move on to a new story area.
I have been studying Mother's grimoire. Do you wish to hear what I have found?
If you must.
'Tis not what I expected. I had hoped for a collection of her spells, a map of the power that she commands. But this is not it.
You look disturbed.
Disturbed? Yes, perhaps that is the right word. One thing in particular within her writings disturbs me. Here, in great detail, Flemeth explains the means by which she has survived for centuries.
Let me guess, she drinks blood, eats children?
That is closer to the truth than you might think. Flemeth has raised many daughters over her long lifetime. There are stories of these many witches of the wilds throughout chastened legend, yet I have never seen a one, and always wondered why not. And now I know. They are all Flemeth. When her body becomes old and wizened, she raises a daughter, and when the time is right, she takes her daughter's body for her own.
Are you certain about this?
Indeed. That is primarily what this tome details, the various daughters that Flemeth has acquired, their preparation and training. I recognize all of it. I am to be her next host. This is my purpose.
So why would she risk sending you with me?
I do not know. Perhaps 'tis as she said, the Darkspawn threaten her as much as they threaten anyone else. Or perhaps she believes that this journey will make me more powerful. According to the tome, if the host is already powerful and trained in magic, it takes far less time for Flemeth to settle in.
So what do you intend to do about it?
There is only one possible response to this. Flemeth needs to die. I will not sit about like an empty sack waiting to be filled. Flemeth must be slain, and I need your help to do it.
Very well, I'll help you if I can.
Then what needs to be done is for you to go back to Flemeth's hut in the Kakari Wilds without me. If I am present when she is slain, I cannot be certain that she will not be able to possess my body right then, so I must remain at the camp. Confront her and slay her quickly. I doubt she will truly be dead even then, but it will take her years to find a new host and recover her power, if that is even possible. The thing I must have is her true grimoire. With it, I can defend against her power in the future. Everything else in her hut is yours.
Do I have a time limit on this?
Not really, but the sooner the better, no?
I'll see what I can do.
I am grateful. The sooner this can be done, the sooner it will set my mind at ease.
So Flemeth enters into some sort of crazy, Full Metal Alchemist territory with that one character that was shifting bodies over and over again and kept taking over different bodies, but in her case, the bodies were degrading faster and faster, and then it wasn't going to work in the long run. That was the original Full Metal Alchemist, by which I mean the fake version of it. That was an adaptation that they made up a lot of because the manga wasn't done. Then they started over with Brotherhood, and that one's more accurate, I guess. That's a weird situation. 2 anime for 1 manga. Okay, so I suppose we might be about to kill Flemeth then. Hopefully I'm actually capable of doing so. Yep, I figured something would happen on our way to Flemeth's hut. There seems to be a random encounter every time you go anywhere long distance.
Sire, I have more news. Yes. Well, it seems that the fighting has gone exactly as you...
I would like to know what you intend to accomplish, Father. Should we not be fighting the Darkspawn instead of each other?
The nobility should be brought into line and then the Darkspawn defeated. This is no true blight, Honora. Only Kaelin's vanity demanded it be so.
Beg pardon, sire. But blight or no, we may not have the manpower to face the Darkspawn soon.
Kaelin approached your legions for support, did he not?
Never! Marek and I drove those bastards out! We'll not roll out the welcome for them now!
We need help, Father. We cannot deal with this crisis alone.
Ferelden will stand on its own! I will lead it through this, Anora. You must have faith in me.
Did you kill Kalen?
Kalen's death was his own doing.
And what exactly do we have here? It looks like a whole lot of ambushing mercenaries. They know not which they bite off way more than they can chew, for sure.
Ah, a fellow traveler of the fair lands. Are you a seeker, perchance? My packs are light, but I have a tome of strange origin. The Deus V Eternus, rumored to be the last message to a sinful world from the Maker himself.
Did you sell a few copies in the Circle Tower?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and neither do these large men carrying swords. Get them!
Ha 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 ha. Guess who called out your fucking bluff, buddy? That's right, I've already explored the place that you've been to, and I am calling you out. And I'm stumbling on my words apparently, but that's fine, because he's going to die soon, so if I embarrass myself in my attempts to taunt him, no one will know, because he will be dead. Yep. Everyone's pretty— ow! Jesus! There's a mage shooting fireballs. He didn't really react fast enough because all of his friends are dead, but now I have to run up here and deal with him, I guess. Man. Oh, you're really all alone. You should have— yep, you should have ran. That fireball's the biggest and last mistake of your life. Oh well. No sympathy for nameless mages, even though I'm a mage. That might be a little problematic. Oh well. What's he drop? A cameo cowl. Okie dokie. So I got a new hat. Ooh. Grab this over here. I think— is this the item that gives you— oh, it's death root. Whoopsie. I was hoping it was elf root, because elf root is used to craft healing potions. Death root is for poisons, and I don't really mess with the poisons so much. But anyway, let's continue on to Flemeth's Hunt. What? Flemeth's Hunt? Really? Flemeth's Hut. There we go. Hopefully we don't get any more interruptions. It looks like we'll make it. Oh, Flemeth! Hello! Honey dearest.
And so you return. Lovely Morrigan has at last found someone willing to dance to her tune. Such enchanting music she plays, wouldn't you say?
We know your little secret, Flemeth.
Which one, I wonder? What has Morrigan told you? What little plan has she hatched this time?
She knows how you extend your unnatural lifespan.
That she does. The question is, do you? Ah, but it is an old, old story. One that Flemeth has heard before, and even told. Let us skip right to the ending, shall we? Do you slay the old wretch as Morrigan bids, or does the tale take a different turn?
What do you propose?
Morrigan wishes my grimoire? Take it as a trophy. Tell her I am slain.
And what happens to you?
I go. Perhaps I surprise Morrigan one day. Or I may simply watch. It would be interesting to see what she does with her freedom. Enlightening, even. Would you give an old woman that?
And what do I get out of it?
You get to keep her for a time.
I could do that.
It's far easier this way, don't you think? The lies are always more fun.
Yes, fun. Tricking Morgan. Oh, who am I kidding? That does sound fun. I'm a bad man.
A tangled web you weave, Warden. I hope it's for good cause.
The book is inside the hut, with notes and spells enough to make even Morrigan blush with delight. You and I will not meet again. That I guarantee.
Well, there we go. Man, Alistair, you are just the most adorable little Grey Warden, aren't you?
The task is finished.
So let's go right inside and let's go get the the Grimoire, the true Grimoire for Morrigan, because frankly, I'm not that attached to her. She's one of the more irritating party members, and I'm doing her a favor here just by getting this so that she can use it and its secrets to defend herself. So I'll give her that much, but I don't need to go kill legendary witches for her. She can have her own problems to herself, I think. So let's go give her the new Grimoire and see how she takes that.
Mother's real Grimoire, is it? I am glad you were able to find it after all. My thanks for retrieving it. I shall begin studying it immediately and unlock the power that it holds.
Well, alright, inspired, major magic. I'm all for this. My characters are becoming more powerful, and while we're in camp, let's go ahead and switch to Goyle and give him that thing that's clearly a present for him, the ox bone. There we go. Okay, I gave it to him and nothing happened. Whoops. Maybe it was for someone else. I guess there's not a ton of reason to give these people presents because they're, Goyle a present because Goyle has maximum loyalty to begin with. Oh well, now he has an ox bone. Enjoy that, I guess.
Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Warden sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness.